And we are live. Hello, everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Grammar Garage series. In today's class, we'll be learning how to make comparisons. But we're going to learn in a non-boring way because we're going to learn grammar through communication. How to talk about music is the theme of today's class. So in this class, we'll use music as a way to learn how to better compare and contrast our ideas and our tastes. A little more about the class in just a moment. But first, let me get my name on the screen. There we go. And I'm going to do a quick introduction, and then we will get started. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. By the way, if you click on the link in the Verbling chat window, it takes you to my profile page where you can follow me to see my upcoming classes. As well, you can book a private tutoring class with me, a private session, where I will work with you on a personalized learning plan. Just send me a message if you're interested, and I'll find time for you, or I'll try my best to find time for you in my schedule. So that's a bit about me. Let's go to the class itself. So this is the material that we did in part 1 of the class on Tuesday morning in our speaking skills class. There, we were concerned about vocabulary more than anything else. Today, we're going to look at this in a little bit more detail, and we're going to focus just on the grammar of comparisons, but we're still going to be talking about music. All right? So, let's start by just talking a little bit about taste. First of all, welcome back, Giancarlo. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, John. Good morning.
Good morning. And Mr. Victor. Hello, Victor. How are you?
Pretty fine. Thank you for asking.
Very good. Victor, have you been here before, or is this your first time?
Yes, I think it's our 3 or 4 class.
Yeah, but I don't recognize your picture, Victor.
Yes?
You have a new picture.
No, it's the same.
I don't recognize your picture. I've never seen you before. Have you been in classes
Believe
with me?
Yes.
With me?
Yeah, believe me, yes. We have another class together.
Yeah, but you didn't have that picture, because I would remember. There's no way. I have a photographic memory. There's no way. I don't remember. Is that you and your daughter?
Yes, my little girl.
I'm telling you, I would remember. You must have had a different picture. Where are you from, Victor?
I'm from Bogota, Colombia.
From Bogota. Okay. Victor, I don't remember.
There is no problem.
Victor, let's talk a little bit about music. Tell me about the music of Bogota, Colombia.
Okay, Bogota, Colombia is the capital of my country, so in the city there is a lot of different kind of music, and different people like different music. And it's a big city, yes. We have different festivals and a lot of concerts.
Is there a particular type of music that is local music that's different than other places? Is there a Colombian music that we should know about?
There is some music from other regions of Colombia.
Right.
Of course, yes, but the most popular music here is I don't know what is I think it's the vallenato. It's a music from the coast of the country. Also, people love music that is called reggaeton. That is bad music. I really don't like this kind of music, but people enjoy a lot it.
So the first one was called Bacanato?
Vallenato.
Uh-huh. Like Bacanato, like that? Did I spell it right?
I write it in the chat.
Ah. Oh, I heard B. It's V. Vallenato.
Yes.
Ah, okay, very good, very good. And the other music, the one you didn't like, is called what?
I think it's
Reggaeton. Reggaeton.
Yes, it's a very popular music in all America,
Uh-huh.
in all South America. Yes.
Interesting. Well, the Vallenato, I think I've heard. The other one, I don't think I know. I don't think I've even heard the word before. I've also never been to
In the
South
reggaeton,
America.
always there is a beautiful woman, some babies dancing,
Uh-huh.
and the guys always are using a lot of waltz and a lot of I don't know. It's they look like gunners.
Huh? Uh, I have this Wikipedia page to reggaeton, musical genre which has its roots in Puerto Rico. Sound derived from reggae and Espanol and from Panama. That's what it says. I don't know if it's the same.
Yes,
Anyway,
it's the same.
yeah, is that? Okay, very good, very good. Well, listen, we're going to expand our vocabulary as well. So I want to do this as a kind of review, a review for Giancarlo, but maybe new for you, Victor, because you weren't here on Tuesday. So what I'm going to do is, let me see if I can put this on the screen. Yeah, I'm going to see if we can brainstorm or review a little bit. I'm going to share with you a presentation. Give me a second here. And let's do it like this. Let's make this a little bit bigger. And let's see if we can do something like this. I think in the last class we talked a little bit about styles of music. So I'm going to make a little circle there for styles. And I think we talked a little bit about maybe places where you can hear music. And I have to think if there was anything else that we had. Styles and places. Probably there was. Give me a second here. I just want to take a look at my material. Or Giancarlo, you tell me if there was another set of vocabulary that you remember. If there was, I'll add it here. Right now I can't remember.
I'm not sure, but maybe instruments.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, good. Let's put that there. Instruments. Okay, great. So what I'd like us to do, just for a minute or two, is just a little brainstorming to see how many words we can recall. Let's make a little word chart, like what they call a word wheel. I think is what I called this in the other class. Okay, so let's see. We got 3 people right now. Let's see if we can have 3 styles of music. Giancarlo, give me a style that comes to mind from the last class, if you like, or from your own ideas. That's okay too.
Yes, pop music.
Okay, so we can talk about pop.
Pop.
Mr. Victor, give me another style that comes to mind.
Metal music.
What is it?
Metal.
Metal. Got it.
Metal?
Metal like this. Yeah? Like this?
Yes, metal. Thank you.
Got it. And I guess we could say heavy metal. Okay, very good. And let's say hello to Mr. Rob. Hello, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for.
Very good. Can you think of another style of music we might add to our chart?
Yeah, dubstep.
We can have dubstep. There you go. Who's a good musician in dubstep, Rob?
I don't know. I listen music because I don't care about group or singer. I just listen music. I don't know
Okay.
history or something in
All right.
music. So yeah.
This is kind of old. This goes back like 30 years, doesn't it? Maybe not. Maybe not so old. I was thinking of. Maybe I'm getting this confused with what's the style with Lee Scratch Perry? It's not. Oh, maybe I'm getting confused between dub and dubstep. Oh, I'm getting confused. That's what it is. I was looking for Lee Scratch Perry. Sorry. All right, that's dub. Let's put dub over here. I sure wish I could play some of this music, you know? It'd be much more fun if we could actually play music in the classroom instead of just talking about it. I'm going to ask you all to sing in one of these styles. Rob, you're going to be singing in dubstep today. Victor,
My girlfriend say I can break windows and glasses with my voice. I don't want to break my computer. Sorry.
then Rob, you stand to make a lot of money if you're able to break glass and windows with your voice, because that is an amazing talent. Okay, Victor, you're going to be singing heavy metal for us. I want to hear your best metal voice.
Sorry.
I want to hear a kind of a deep, you know, kind of classic Slayer kind of sound, Sepultura, you know, one of those really grungy,
I prefer the gothic metal.
Who?
The gothic metal.
Gothic metal.
Yes, I prefer this kind of music.
Like who? Who's goth? Give me a goth band.
My favorite band is a band called Therion.
A band called? I can't hear it.
Therion.
You got to write it. I couldn't. Therion. Oh, I've heard the name, but I don't think I know the music. Therion. Sounds familiar. You can sing that for me, can't you?
It's very difficult.
Therion, formerly Blitzkrieg, Swedish symphonic metal band. This sounds really familiar. I don't know why I know this, but it sounds really familiar. Maybe did I know Blitzkrieg? Is that why? I'm not really sure. Sounds really, really familiar to me for some reason. Okay. Okay, so we got our dubstep, our pop. Now, Giancarlo, do you think we could add a few more common things? Like, what about Mozart? What style would that be?
Maybe
That's
classical.
not dubstep. Classical, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that one because we want to not confuse classic with classical.
Classical music, Mexican music, maybe
classical Mexican music.
Hmm.
Let's talk about some of those big genres. When I say style, I guess I should also say, yeah, those. I want to also use the word genre, because another way to say style is genre, and we often will hear music referred to as different genres, because style could mean the way you do a certain genre, but genre is really a type of music. So we've got, let's say, jazz. Let's put that up there. Put that up. Oops. Uh-oh. Sorry, something went wrong with my colors.
Mm-hmm.
Fix that.
Another one. Classical. Hip hop, maybe. Hip hop.
Excellent. Yeah, let's put hip hop over here. Let's put that over there. Excellent. All right, and maybe we should go to. I'm going to give you another one just because it's funny. What about lounge? Do you know lounge? Anyone know lounge? Lounge is kind of the 1950s pre-rock and roll kind of Las Vegas sound. No? Any Sinatra fans? No Sinatra fans?
Sinatra, yes. Maybe Elvis Presley too? No, Elvis Presley belongs to rock and roll, right?
He's one of the originators, but you're right, he went through a Vegas stage and his music changed. He kind of got into gospel, right? So he had this kind of mix of rock, gospel, and something later on. So yeah, he ended up in Vegas later on. So did Britney Spears, by the way. They both ended up in Vegas. Britney Spears is now a Vegas star. Places. Let's go to places. Places where you hear music. Mr. Victor, think about places where you hear music in Bogota. We need to know the names of those places. What do we call a big place? What do we call a little place? What do we call a place that has a roof over it?
Okay, the big concerts are in the stadium.
Okay, first is stadiums. Excellent.
Mhm.
So if it's a big rock concert, it'll be a stadium event. By the way, notice that places can also be called in English venues. And in fact, it's more common to say a venue rather than a place. So we got musical genres and we've got musical venues. Okay? Rob,
Okay.
besides a stadium, that's a big venue. What's a little venue called?
Theater or a pub?
Yeah,
Bar?
you could play at a pub, right? So we'll say we'll call these, Rob, we'll call these small venues, and they could be at a, as you said, at a pub, at a bar, at a little theater,
Halls,
and that's the other one, concert hall.
concert hall. Yes.
That's not necessarily a small though, so we're going to put that in a new category. Okay, so we've got a concert hall, a stadium, a small venue like a bar, pub, or little theater. Okay, if we can think of any others, we'll add them. Let's go to instruments. There's too numerous to even write here, but by the way, can everyone hear me okay? Someone is saying
Yes.
that the
Yes.
sound is bad.
I-
The sou-
The sound is good. I think so.
yeah, I think,
Sounds
not I
good.
think so.
Too.
I think. I think. Okay. Can you help me? Can you give me one example with I think so, John? Well, for example, I think so. It's raining. Is that correct? I think so.
No.
It's raining. Oh, please. What's the difference between them? Because
I think so is when you're not sure. Is that President Obama? Well, he's tall, he has big ears, and he's in the presidential plane, so it's Obama. Yeah, I think so. But you're not sure.
Okay. I think. Yeah.
You-
Okay.
what you're really saying is, I think it may be so. That's what you're really saying, but you cut out the extra words. I think it might be so, but I'm not sure. So basically, don't ever say I think so, because every time you use it, you are sure. To say, oh, you're 99% sure. So you just say I think.
Okay. Correct. I think.
I think.
Now it's clearer.
Mr. Marcus, how are you?
Hello, John. How are you? I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
We've just been brainstorming some musical vocabulary, and I want to know from you, what are the names of the instruments that we most commonly see in music today?
Drums,
Absolutely. What else?
guitar,
We got drums, we got guitar,
bass,
bass.
bass,
Bass is a fish. We definitely do not use bass. Bass is a big, ugly fish.
okay,
Bass is a giant, deep guitar. Okay, so absolutely.
okay.
Any others come to mind?
How do you say teclado, piano? I don't know.
Teclado is keyboard.
Keyboard. Oh, thank you.
Keyboard. Because the piano is piano, but teclado is literally the keyboard. Excellent. By the way, let's say a quick hello to Mr. Ahmed. Hello, Ahmed. Am I saying your name right? I never know if I'm saying it right.
Yes, hi, how are you, teacher?
Can you pronounce your name? I want to hear you say it.
My name is Ahmed.
Ahmed. Okay. Mr. Ahmed, besides the drums, guitar, bass, and keyboard, are there any other instruments that we think about in music today, the music we listen to the most? Any other instruments that you think are really common that we should know the name of? And by the way, do you understand all these words? Drums, guitar, keyboard. Is all that clear, Ahmed?
Yes,
So what's missing? Any other words we should add?
Electric guitar.
guitar,
Yeah, we could add electric to any of these, actually. You can have electric drums, you can have electric guitar, you can have electric bass. So I'll put electric here. A keyboard is always electric, so you don't have to say it. What about the singer? What does the singer use?
I don't understand this.
The singer. Class, what does the singer use?
Flute, saxophone.
Harmonic,
The singer uses a saxophone?
trumpet,
Wait a second.
the flute,
What does a singer use?
microphone.
Voice.
Microphone?
Microphone, not the voice. We can say mic or we can say microphone. And we can also say auto-tuning because no one can sing today, so they all use auto-tuning. But we'll go with microphone. Okay, very good. And then I heard a couple other brass instruments. So I'm going to put a little note here that we've got brass like trompeta, trumpet. And I heard another one too. What was the other one? Trumpet and...
Saxophone.
Oh, sax. Hey, guess what? Saxophone is not a brass instrument. Saxophone is a woodwind saxophone. And the reason it's a woodwind is because it uses a reed in the mouthpiece. That little piece of wood is why we call it a woodwind. You have to use a reed in an oboe, in a saxophone, in a clarinet, all of those. Give me a second, let me just fix my word wheel here. Okay, and speaking about types of instruments, let's do, let's do one more type. If we have brass and woodwind, we have to talk about percussion. So drums are a percussion instrument. Do you know what else is a percussion instrument? The piano is a percussion instrument too. Think about it. The piano has little hammers, and that's how we actually strike the chords inside of the piano. Okay, let me save this as a JPEG so that we can just refer back to this later. Let me just save this. I'm going to call this music words. Music words as a JPEG. I'm going to save that. That way we can... actually, I'm going to close this for a second. Maybe I can send this to you if you want a copy of the notes. Okay? The flute has a reed. The flute does not have a reed. The flute is... It is a woodwind, isn't it, though? Because flutes are made out of wood, and metal flutes came along later. So I really don't know what it's considered, because real flutes are made out of wood. The old type of flutes, like in ancient Greece or whatever. So that's a good question. I guess the flutes are woodwind instruments. I guess. But nowadays they're all metal, and there's no reed because you just blow into the hole and do this. But I think they would be woodwinds. Not sure. That's what happens when you teach things that you don't know about. You look like a ignorant person. But that's all right. I'm not supposed to be a music expert. I'm supposed to be an English expert. Look at this. Let's go back to our presentation. Okay. So basically, we've just kind of reviewed some of the most important vocabulary that we did in our survey, our music survey, in the last class. I'm going to jump forward in the presentation here. No, here. And I'm going to work specifically now on the grammar of comparing things. By the way, quick welcome to Mr. Jem. Welcome back, Jem. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. Jem, don't
Yes.
disappear today. Stay in the class. Don't disappear. Every time I talk to you, you run away. Stay. I'll help you out if you have any questions. If you're not sure of the answer, I will help you. But don't run away. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Now we're going to use the vocabulary we've just looked at in just a moment. First, let's talk about how to compare things. That will prepare you for the end of class where you are going to compare your taste in music to someone else's, your favorite song to someone else's, your favorite instrument to someone else's. Okay? Let's get started. Complete the text with comparative or superlative forms of the adjectives. Comparative is about 2 things. Superlative is about 3 or more. Probably all of you can do this pretty easily. Let's do it first, and then afterwards look at the rules. So number 1, let's start with Ahmed. Read number 1 for us and continue to number 2.
Okay. A guitar is cheaper than a piano to buy, and it is a lot. A lot
A lot what?
smaller.
Smaller is correct. Good. How many things are we comparing here? 2 things or more than 2 things, Ahmed?
More.
More?
Two things.
Yeah, just 2.
Things.
Just 2. Guitar and
2
piano.
things.
Good.
Guitar, piano, yes.
That's
2
it.
things.
So,
Smaller.
exactly. Smaller, cheaper. Smaller and cheaper. So
Smaller.
cheaper is the opposite of expensive. Smaller is the opposite of big. Okay, keep that in mind. We're comparing 2 things. Keep that in mind. We may see that there's going to be more than 2 things later in the text. So far, so good. Mr. Rob, I want you to read from the beginning and go all the way past 2 into number 3. But start from the beginning, a guitar.
Okay, a guitar is cheaper than piano to buy. It's a lot smaller, so it's convenient. Convenient.
We're comparing 2 things, so you can't use convenient alone. You got to change it. Does it get an ending, or does it get an extra word to make the comparison? Which one is easier to use, a guitar or a piano? Imagine you live in a tiny apartment. Would you be able to play the piano in a tiny apartment, Rob?
No, I prefer guitar because
Of course.
I don't have much space for piano.
Exactly. So the guitar is what compared to the piano? It's not
small.
What?
Small?
No, but I'm saying using the word convenient. The guitar is
Good.
using the word convenient.
Okay.
But you've got to change it to make it a comparison. I'll give you a hint, Rob.
Okay.
You cannot add an ending to convenient because convenient is too long. You could not say the guitar is convenienter than the piano. Okay? You can't say that because it's way too long. The word's too big. But what can you say? You've got to add a word that shows that it is comparative, Rob.
Okay.
Do you know what word?
Then?
Then goes after. Yeah, what goes before? It is blank convenient than the piano. That's correct if you're going to use those 2 words in a sentence. Okay, if you're not sure, let's ask the class to help you out.
Okay.
Class, what word can we add to convenient to make it a comparison?
More?
More. Exactly.
Okay.
So, Rob, read the whole sentence, but this time with the word more. Let's hear it.
Okay. Guitar it's cheaper than
What,
piano.
not that. Look again.
That.
Look again. You're not reading the word on the page. It doesn't say that. It says...
Okay. A guitar it's more cheaper than...
Wait a second. Rob, look at the word THAN.
Okay.
How do you say that?
Then?
than.
Then.
Good, because you were saying that, but it's than.
Okay.
Good. So guitar is cheaper than a piano. Keep going.
To buy, and it's a lot smaller,
Good.
so it's more convenient if you live in a small flat.
And that's it. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so we saw the two comparative forms, and more. So make a mental note of those two comparative forms. We're on to you, Giancarlo, for also.
Also, you can carry it much more easy, not much easier. So
Good.
it's well if you move around a lot.
Okay, first one's correct. You can also carry it around much easier. Correct. Because easy or much... Oh, you know what? We got a little problem, actually. Oh, we have a little problem. Because it's not easy, it's easily.
Easily.
Yeah.
Carry it much.
Easily has too many syllables, so we cannot put an It's got too many syllables. So
much more easily.
much more easily is correct. Much more easily. Good. The second one is wrong because good is irregular. Remember your irregular adjectives? We've got good and bad. What's the next form? Good and bad?
Yes, teacher.
Good and bad, and then we have, what are the other forms?
Better.
Better, and what's the opposite? What's the opposite of better?
Well, maybe.
The opposite of better is worse. W-O-R-S-E.
Worse. Oh, worse.
Right? Okay, and that's
Yes.
two things. What if we're talking about three things? Giancarlo? We have good, we've got
Also,
good, better, and blank.
Also, you can carry it much more easily, so it's worse if you move around a lot.
So it's better if you move around a lot.
Yes, you can also buy special guitars for kids.
Wait. We gotta give that to someone else. But you see, number 5 is not worse, it's better.
It's better.
Because you can carry it around much more easily. That's a positive thing. So it's got to be better.
Better, okay.
Right? Because a guitar is smaller. You can move it around. Okay? Let's finish it up with Victor for number 6. You can also buy?
You can also buy special guitar for kids. These are slightly smaller than normal guitars.
Perfect. Slightly smaller. By the way, Victor, I want you to make a mental note of this. The sound I, which is sometimes written like this in the chat window. Whoops. Give me a second. In a grammar book, you might see it written like this, I. That sound can be written in different ways, and you could write it like basically like this, as in white, but you can also write it like this, as in slight. Look at that note in the chat window, if you can see it, Victor. Do you see the word pronunciation?
Yes.
I?
Yes.
Okay, so
in white. Okay.
And IGH, as in slight. But both ways to spell it are still I. They're both pronounced I. In fact, there's a few different ways to spell it, but I just want to point out that English has many spellings for the exact same sound. I just want to point that out for now, okay? So I'll see if I can, as we go along, I'll try to be clear about what spelling. In fact, maybe I could just give you a quick list for the I sound. Give me a second. Maybe I can do that. I think it's worth spending a minute, because if I catch you having, with a problem, I think it's worth spending just a minute and seeing if I can quickly clear it up. Give me just a second here. There are 5 different spellings for I, actually. 5 different spellings for I. I'm going to put them all in the chat window right now. There they are. You see them?
Thank you. Yes.
Each of those spellings, it's pronounced I. And I'll give you an example. The first I is in a foreign word, like, so it's not used very often, but the word Zeit, as in the English word Zeitgeist, which is also a German word, but we use it in English. But the second one, E-I-G-H-T, can you think of a word that has that sound? I'll give you a hint. I think in Spanish it's altura.
Yes.
Height.
Hi.
Height. Remember, this is an I sound. Height.
Hi.
Good. The normal I, like the word white, like the word lion. IGH, can you think of another IGH word?
Hi.
Hi, good. Yeah, I was going to say night.
Night.
Night, absolutely. That's it. And finally, we have the letter Y. Last one, the letter Y, and the letter Y is my. Very good. Yeah, my. Very good. That's it. Okay, so that's just a mini lesson on pronunciation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways to spell the same sound. I guarantee you will never forget that. Okay. And I told Jem not to run away, and Jem ran away. Okay. We're on to, I believe, what could be the superlative side. Let's go back to Mr. Ahmed for on the other hand.
Yes, teacher.
Go for it. On the other hand.
On the another hand, a piano is probably the better
instrument. Good.
Instrument of all for learning about music.
Good. Good. The answer is going to be the best, not the better. The best. Right. Because it's not the guitar and the piano. Now it's the piano compared to everything, not just the guitar. In other words, more than three things, 3 or more things. So listen and repeat, Ahmed, just for pronunciation. On the other hand, repeat. Hello, Ahmed. Hello, Ahmed, are you there?
Okay.
Listen and repeat.
On
the other hand.
Okay. On the another hand,
the piano is probably.
The piano is probably
the best instrument.
The best instrument.
Perfect. Good. Of all for learning about music.
Of all the learning about music.
Okay. Sounds pretty good. Of all for learning about music. I think you said, I don't think you said the for. Okay, good. Mr. Jem, this is your moment to be a superstar. Mr. Jem.
Thank you.
So I want you to read starting from on the other hand. I want you to go all the way to number 8, okay?
Okay. You can see all of the notes a bit more clearly than on a guitar.
Sounds good. I want you to start from the beginning, though. On the other hand, I want to hear both. On the other hand, start from the beginning of the paragraph, please, and do both sentences.
Okay. On the other hand, a piano is probably the goodier
The best
the best
instrument
instruments of all for learning about music. You can see all of the notes a bit clearer than on a guitar.
No, not a bit clearer, a bit more clearly,
More
like you said.
clearly.
Yeah, you said it right the first time. Good. So the difficult words were instrument,
Instruments.
also probably.
Probably.
That's it. Excellent. Very good. Back to I lost my place. I don't know who's next. I think it's you, Victor. I'm not sure. Victor, take it from from the beginning all the way through number 9.
Sorry?
From the beginning to number 9.
Okay. A guitar is cheaper than a piano to buy.
Probably.
Okay, from probably.
I didn't hear the
On the other
pronunciation
hand, a
on the
piano
word.
is probably the
Good.
best instrument of all for learning about music. You can see all of the notes a bit more clearly
Good.
than on a guitar. If a piano is too big and expensive, you could buy a keyboard. These are far cheaper
Good.
and more convenient.
Far cheaper and more convenient. Good. You wouldn't say far more cheap and convenient, but you could. You could actually say far more cheap and convenient. You could, because you've got 2 words there and more could apply to both. Because you have to say more convenient. So you could say far more cheap and convenient, but anyway, the way you said it is really the right way to say it. Far cheaper and more convenient. That's correct. Okay, excellent job, Giancarlo. I want you to do the entire second paragraph all the way to the end now.
On the other hand, from there?
From the beginning to number 11, yeah.
A guitar is cheaper than a piano to buy, and it's a lot smaller, so it's more convenient if you live in a small flat. Also, you can carry it much more easily, so it's better if you move around a lot. You can also buy special guitars for kids. These are slightly smaller than normal guitars. On the other hand, the piano is probably the best instrument of all for learning about music. You can see all of the notes a bit more clearly than on a guitar. If a piano is too big and expensive, you could buy a keyboard. These are far cheaper and more convenient. A toy keyboard is probably the most popular instrument of all for small children.
Excellent. So, which are comparatives and which are superlatives? Actually, I think it's clear, so I'm going to skip right to the rules, and we'll see if we can just fill in the rules. It says to underline these words in the text in exercise 6 and complete the rules. All you really have to do is just notice where they are. You've got slightly, much, far, a bit, and a lot. So if you like, you can go back to slide 13 and just take a look at where they are. But what we're going to do is try to finish the rules using those words. Okay? So, if you like, open the presentation and go back to 13 if you know the answer. Let's just try it out right now. Use blank, blank, and blank to compare two things that are very different. Use blank and blank to compare two things that are not very different. This could be a little bit confusing, but let's try it. Actually, this is part C. Let me see if I can give you a little hint about this. Maybe it's a little bit confusing. Give me a second here. Oh, I'm in the wrong chapter, my book. 1 second. It would help if I go to the right page so I can give you the right answers. Yeah, I think we can do this. So using only those words, slightly, much, far, a bit, and a lot, which rule do they apply to? 3 are going to apply the first rule, 2 are going to apply the second. Anyone want to take a stab at this exercise? Uh-oh, no one's feeling brave. Let's go back. If you're not sure, let's go back quickly and see where is slightly. Ah, there's slightly. Look at slightly. It's in number 6, isn't it?
Comparative. Slight.
It's comparative. Slightly smaller. Okay? That's true. Where is much? Oh, look. Number 4.
It's comparative too.
It's not. Much more. Oh, you're right. It is. Yeah, you're right. Yes, it is. It's in the tops, and the top is about the guitar and the piano. You're right. It's comparative. So we got much and we got more. What about far? Do we see far anywhere?
Number 9.
Yes, in the number 9.
Number 9. So that is what?
That's
Comparative
equal.
or superlative? Are we comparing two things or are we comparing more than two things? In the second text.
2 things.
We're comparing just 2 things? If
Yes, a piano and a keyboard.
Okay, if a piano is too big and expensive, you could buy a keyboard. These are far more.
It's comparative too, yes.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. I was thinking of the sentence before, which is superlative. Nope, you're right, it's comparative. Oh, wait a second. If we got our 3 answers, then we've got our first rule, I think. But did we figure it out? What is the... No, we don't. We still have another problem here. We got to compare things that are either very different or very the same. Very different or not very different, I should say. We have to keep looking. So let's go back and see if we can find quickly, see if we can find a bit. Do we see a bit somewhere?
Yes, in number 8.
Number 8. You can see all of the notes a bit more clearly. Are these things very different or not so different?
Not different.
Not so different. A bit is a little.
A little. A bit is a little. Finally, we have a lot. Do we see a lot?
A lot is after number 4. I mean 5.
Number 5. It's better if you move around a lot. A lot means a lot.
Also in the
Not
number,
great quantity.
And where else?
in the number 2.
In number 2. Yeah. Cheaper than pianos to buy, and it's a lot smaller. Is that a big difference or a little difference?
A bit different.
It's a big difference. Okay. I think we can fill in our rules now. Rule number 1. Use blank, blank, and blank to compare two things that are very different. So what's the best answer? Use
Much.
much.
Far.
Correct. Far. Correct.
A lot.
A lot. In rule number 2, use blank and blank to compare two things that are not very different.
Slightly.
Slightly.
And
And
a
a
bit.
bit.
and a bit. And that's it. Now you've got the key adverbs to use in making comparisons. Very good. Let's see here. This we can just skip. It's not important. Okay. On this slide, you have basically an overview of everything you need to know. On slide 17, and it continues on slide 18. Use a comparative adjective or adverb with than, not that, than to compare two things. We use slightly and a bit if things are not very different, like the Spanish guitars are a bit cheaper. We use far, much, and a lot if things are very different. Madonna is much more famous than Rihanna. I don't know about that sentence, but okay, you get the idea. And so that's summarized down there in the box. Here, we're talking about superlatives. Use a superlative adjective or adverb to compare more than two things. If it's small, it's est. If it's big, it's most. If it's irregular, it's going to be bad, worse, worst. Worst of all. That's a summary of all the grammar you need to know, at least for the intermediate level. That's really all you need to know. I want you to forget about this. In the remaining time, I want you, well, okay. Yes, we should probably do this one. Okay, this is a short one. Do you think Coldplay sounds better than the Beatles? All of my family dance badly, but my dad dances the... What?
Okay, all of my family dance badly, but my dad dances the worst.
The worst. Exactly. It's superlative. You will need to practice blank than the others to succeed.
Hardest? Sorry.
Harder, not hardest, right. You will need to practice harder than. Good. Look after the violin more blank. You'll break it.
Carefully.
Carefully. Good. More carefully. That's the one where you might have trouble. Just like we saw more easily. So more is used with an adverb, not an adjective. Or it can be used with an adverb, I should say. Okay, number 4. I arrived late. The concert started blank. Earlier. Good. You can always hear Sam. He plays the...
Loudest.
Loudest. Excellent. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to talk about your favorite song, your favorite... what's this? Forget about that. We don't have time. I want to go right to this. Here on the screen, you see a little table. Make notes in the table about the music, the venues, and the entertainment you prefer, and why. So take a minute, and I want you to complete those statements for yourself. The I prefer and the because. You could do it mentally, or you could write it in the chat window, or you could write it on a piece of paper. And what I want you to do is to talk about your ideas and then compare it to, at the end, to what everyone else says. We're going to make a little comparison. Okay, so take a minute. Everyone have some ideas clear in their minds? If you're all ready, then I'll give you my ideas, and I want to hear from each of you in the same way, like a little summary, and at the end, we're going to try to compare each other's ideas to each other. For example, I prefer post-punk music because it's the most, I'll go with relaxing. And also, it reminds me the most of when I was a kid because that's the music I listened to when I started to listen to music seriously. Venues. I prefer small venues like clubs or bars because you get to see the musicians up close, and I think it puts you, and the sound quality too is better. It's more exciting. Uh, I prefer film, cinema, probably more than other things, but I also like to read. But cinema takes less time than reading, so I guess in the end I prefer that. It's the most accessible of all the arts these days. Rob, I want you to give me a quick summary of your ideas.
I prefer hip hop music because I like. I don't have any reasons.
Okay.
I also like to go on stadium or hall music, I think.
I like to go to stadiums, not on, to stadiums. Or music halls?
Yeah, or music house. Or
excellent. Because?
Because it's very near on my home.
Okay, so say that as a comparison. Because they are?
Because they are more near.
Not more. Near is a short word. Just add an ending. You're comparing those to all the other places in the world. So you got to use a superlative. They are the
best.
Best, good, or they are the nearest.
Yeah, they are the best places.
Good. I would say though they're the nearest to my home as well.
Nearest to my home.
Yeah, best and nearest. Good. And what about entertainment?
I like to play a lot video games. I think it's the most relaxing thing for me. So yeah, I just
there
play.
You go.
Excellent.
Notice when you say the because, you already have an opportunity to use comparatives and superlatives, everyone. Notice that. They are the nearest to my home, they're the best, they're the most relaxing thing I can do. Okay, Mr. Victor, give me your 3.
Okay. I prefer Gothic music because it's most elaborated. I prefer listen to this music in a bar.
I prefer listening to music.
Thank you. I prefer listening music in a bar because it's smaller and
it's more intimate.
Sorry?
It's more intimate.
Okay, it's more intimate. Yes, and I prefer go to the cinema.
Not go. Going. I prefer going.
I prefer going to cinema because I don't know because they are near by my house.
Okay, good. Notice you can say, I prefer going to the cinema because they are near my house. Near, not comparing it to anything.
Okay.
Or you could compare it. I prefer going to the cinema because we have cinemas. The cinemas are nearer to my house than other venues, right? So you could also do it as a comparison. So if you do it without comparing, they're near my house. It's just a description. Giancarlo, your 3.
Yes, I prefer pop music because it's more relaxing than reggaeton. I prefer halls because they are slightly closer than stadiums, and I prefer theaters because I can see the stage or the actors more clearly.
Absolutely. You're up close in a theater. Although, if you're comparing it to film, I guess you'd see the actors even more clearly in film, though, right?
Right. Yes. Movie theater.
I suppose if the camera is up close, you see the actors close too. All right. So listen, that is a big overview of how to use the comparative superlative forms. And for me, the new thing, the interesting thing, is that you saw you can use much and more with other adverbs. That's really good. That makes you sound much more sophisticated, more like a native speaker, to say it's much, what was the one we did earlier? I forgot what the sentence was. It's done much more easily. So when you want to switch from an adjective to an adverb, you can put much and more. So I think that's really the new thing that's not so obvious here. All right, if you want a little follow-up, you could write up a text based on the summary that you just gave. Write it up with different comparisons, comparing your taste to someone else in class or your tastes to other things around you. Send it to me in the message window, and I'll be happy to correct it and send it back. We're going to stop here, but tomorrow I'll be back from 12 to 2 GMT. First for learning from pictures, where we've got interesting real pictures from real places, no photoshopping, where you're going to describe them in different ways. You can also apply some of what you learned today in that class. At 1 GMT, we'll be doing language games, and we'll be playing a game of Word Sneak. Where we're going to recycle similes from Tuesday and the phrasal verbs from today for cause and effect if we can. We're going to recycle them in a new game where you've got to try to get your partner to, you got to sneak in a challenging word for them to use in a conversation in a natural way. So check that out tomorrow. Send me your text if you're going to write a text, and have a great day. Bye for now, everyone. See you soon.
See you
Bye
soon.
for now.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Bye.